Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Today is May 11th. It is our 36th day of distance learning, and we're just beginning week 8. Now, I know some of you are on week 6 because you didn't count the 2 weeks of papers that we had, but I started filming the Monday after we got out of school. So to me, it's week 8. I want to let you know that in the backwards alphabet, we are on letter W, and W is for Water Day. So if you have access to a pool, get in it. If not, we'll talk about something else fun you can do at the end of the episode. But now it's time for us to get started writing our new letter of the week. Well, since it's Monday, that must mean we have a new letter of the week. It also must mean my dogs have to run outside and bark. So let's put our happy face on, because we always start at the happy face. And our new letter is actually the last letter in the alphabet. We're going to start at the smiley face, trace the top line, do a long diagonal, and trace the bottom line. It's the letter Z. So let me show that to you again. We're going to go along the top line, diagonal, go along the bottom line. Now notice how when I do this, that where I start and where the diagonal ends are pretty much the same. And where I end and where the top ended, they're pretty much the same. They kind of make a box. Just like we've been doing in our other letters, the X, the Y. We've been really good about keeping our things similar. You do not want it to go like this and be different sizes, or go like this and be like it's falling down. You want to make sure that when you make the Z, that you concentrate on following along and making your diagonal end at about where you began. Oh, that looks like the number 7. And then going out to the side again. So this is the month of May. It's our 9th month. I usually have us make 9 letters. So far I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, Miss Mary has a lot to do. To the side, diagonal, to the side. Now you can see I didn't make that one as big. My first line was shorter than up here. That's a much larger line. Diagonal, and then another straight line. Straight line, diagonal, straight line. Straight line, diagonal, straight line. Straight line, diagonal, straight line. Now I'm supposed to do 9. Let me see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, looks like I have room and time for one more. So I'm going to go straight line, diagonal, straight line. There's number 9. Now, I have plenty of space here and I'm not crowding it, so I'm going to do my lowercase z up here. And just like Y, when we did Y last week, Y was the same, capital or lowercase. It was just that we had pushed it down. Well, for the Z, this motion of across, diagonal, across is going to be the same thing for the lowercase z, but it's going to be in half the space. So we're going to follow the dotted line, diagonal, and the bottom line. See, it's the exact same thing. We are not changing how we make the letter. We're just fitting it into a smaller space. So you want, my Z is floating. We want to avoid floating letters. Oof, not my favorite. Got to get rid of that one. It's okay for your pencil to go into that line as long as it can be seen. You want to make sure you get all the way down to that line. Okay. Now I said 9 is my number of the month, so I should have 9 lowercase z's. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 8 and 9, which means I need 2 more. 8, 9. Put my numbers up there. And that is our letter of the week. Super Preppies, that's also our last letter that we needed to learn. So we're doing really well. The last letter of the alphabet and the last new letter of the week. Practice your Z's this week, and since we've already learned how to write it, I'm going to say that usually on Mondays I have you go around the house and try to find the letter in your house Well, let me say, that proved to be pretty difficult for me. So I went on the internet and I found some letters of the week, or some letters that I could use for, I found some pictures for the letter of the week. So you guys all know this one. This is a zebra. Pretty cool looking zebra, and I just didn't have any in my house. Maybe you do. Now, you see this silly face guy right here. This is actually the number 0. That's a good one. Always important to have. Let's see. Now, these silly little lines that kind of go up and down and sideways, those are called zigzag lines because they go back and forth and they're all over the place and they're up and down. Zigzag. You all know what this one is, and I'm sure you can find it in your house. This is a zipper. This one, I'm going to make a little bigger. This, I know it's blurry. I apologize for it being blurry. It's because I took a picture, a small picture, and made it bigger. This is a collection of animals that is in one place. It's called a zoo. Oh. Now, this is a special kind of flower. We know this flower, but it has a Z name. It is a zinnia. A zinnia is a flower you can get at the store now, a seed, and you can plant it and have zinnias in your garden this summer. Oh, this next one's a favorite of mine. Tasty. It's a squash with a special name. It's called a zucchini. Yummy. Zucchini is so good. And this last one is a fun one. You see this girl? She's sitting on this piece of plastic and there's a rope and she's holding on to some handles at the top. What you really have to look at is, do you see the line of rope that goes across? She's swinging down on this line. It starts somewhere way over here and it goes somewhere way down there, and she's on a zip line. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to find a Z word in your house, I would be really impressed, and I'd love for you to tell me about it. Leave a comment on the video or send me an email. Well, it is time for our letter. Well, guys, every Monday we write a letter to our teachers telling them what we've been doing, telling them that we miss them, and I hope you're sending these to the teachers. They miss you guys so much. They would love to know what's going on in your life. Well, last week I wrote to a teacher called Miss Doe, and since I work with a lot of different teachers, I don't just write to her. Today I'm going to write to Mrs. Dominguez. So remember, parents, you're writing down what they tell you to write. And I'm giving suggestions. Dear Mrs. Dominguez, it has been so long away from school. That's true. Or how about, it has been such a long time. That's probably written better. Such a long time away from school. I think that deserves an exclamation point. I miss you. Oops, I forgot the I there. I miss you. Let's see. Last week I got to now I'm going to underline here, which means you have to fill in something you did last week that you think Mrs. Dominguez would like to know about. Did you get to go to a drive-through birthday party? Did you get to watch a new movie at home? Did you get to learn to cook something? Just tell your teacher something you did yesterday or last week. I'm going to put in, last week I got to wash the car, which was fun because it was so hot out. Let's see. This summer, I want to, and I'm going to once again put a line here because you're going to have to fill in something you would like to do this summer. And then usually our letters have a question in there, so we're going to ask her a question and then we'll be done. What will you do this summer? Oh, I forgot to fill in my blank. This summer I want to go camping. I was supposed to go camping, but it got canceled. So I'm hoping later in the summer I'll be able to. All right, so let's put my question in. What will you do this summer. And because we're writing a question, we don't put a period, we put a question mark that tells her we'd like her to answer. Now, that's all I'm going to write. Super Preppies, now you have to do the writing, and your writing is, of course, to write L-O-V-E and a comma, and your name. Do not write Miss Mary, that's my name. Usually what we do here is we then draw a picture. So, let's see, I think I will draw, I will draw Miss Mary camping. I got my tent. That's a big tent. It goes way back. You can fit like a whole bunch of sleeping bags in there. And let's see, I will draw Miss Mary standing in her blue jeans. Because when I go camping, I'm comfortable in my blue jeans. And my tennis shoes. Oh, I'll grab my markers for that. Got my tennis shoes. And let's see, maybe when I go camping, I'll have a green shirt on. That's just the color I grabbed. All right, so I almost have Miss Mary drawn. I need some hands. And, oh, I definitely need a neck. Do you think I'm done? Okay, you're right. I am missing a head. So let me get my head up there. And let me get my brown and blonde hair, because it's kind of both. So there's the blonde. And there's the brown, because it's kind of mixed up together. Okay, and I definitely need a smile. And 2 eyes and a nose. So there's Miss Mary out camping. Now, if I had my way, I'd be camping close to a river, because I've got some jet skis that I would like to sit on and go and have fun with them. So there's my river off to the side. And let's see. So that means I would be camping on the beach. So let me have my sand right here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a lot of trucks in my neighborhood this week. So I'm just going to have to get used to the sound. Now, if I'm going to go to the beach, of course, I'm going to have a bucket so I can play in the sand. And I'm going to have a towel, probably a pink one with flamingos on it. All right, so, and then at the beach I go to, there are these really, really tall palm trees. So I'll draw a tall palm tree right next to my tent, and then I think I'm done. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I broke my pencil. Is that a bad thing? Goodness no, I'll just grab another one. There's my palm tree. Okie dokie. There we go. All right, so I'm going to add some more details to make sure Mrs. Dominguez really likes this. Please no scribble scrabble. Get your letter written to your teacher, and make sure, parents, that you take a picture of it and send it to them, or you can't really mail it to their school, so you're really going to have to just do the picture. But I hope you guys are keeping in touch with your teachers. I'm sure they miss you. All right, so we're at the calendar, and you know we are in the month of May, the month of May. And you know our days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We don't spend a lot of time on calendar on Monday because we read our letter to our teacher, but I do want to see if you guys know the pattern. So let's see, we have daisy, tulip, tulip, bluebell. Daisy, tulip, tulip, bluebell. Daisy, tulip. Do you think you know? Well, I have it right here, so I'm going to put it right here. Make your guess. If you guessed it was daisy, tulip, tulip, then you got it right. Because remember, we have 2 tulips. All right, so I'm starting to see the beginnings of a pattern here. Another pattern. Last month, if we looked this way, we could see the pattern. Well, if you look at the different diagonal, look, you'll see daisy, daisy. I don't know if that really works. We'll have to see. Tulip, tulip. That must mean that this is going to be a tulip maybe, and so's this. We'll have to wait and see. If it's true and the pattern works, then tomorrow, what are we going to see here? We'll see that flower here. We'll see the bluebell. We'll see. You'll have to tune in tomorrow. All right, now Super Preppies, counting to 11 is still pretty easy for you guys because you are amazing. Let me hear you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's all we're going to do for today on the calendar. Let's get started on some math. I know, I always at calendar say we're going to do math, and then we do a story because that's what we're supposed to do, story after calendar. Now, this is the Mo Willems month, so the first 2 days of every week I'm going to try to read another Mo Willems book. Today our book is The Pigeon Finds a Hot Dog, and down here it says, with special guest star, the duckling. I love the duckling. Actually, truth be told, I love Pigeon too, even though he has temper tantrums. So, let's see our first page. Oh, he did find a hot dog. Looks like he found a lot of hot dogs. We'll have to see what happens at the end page, because remember, the cover pages are always a little the same and a little different in the front and the back. You see here? See how they're always a little the same and a little different? You'll see how they're different when we finish the story. Okay, so the pigeon finds a hot dog. And I say that really loud because there's an exclamation point that tells me to. And there's Pigeon, and there's the hot dog. I wonder what Pigeon's going to do. Ooh, a hot dog. Flap, 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 flap. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Pigeon is full of energy today because everything he says has an exclamation point. He's full of excitement. Ah, may I help you? Pigeon asked. Scooty, scooty, scoot, scoot, scoot. Here comes a cute little duckling. Ah. Is that a hot dog? Not a hot dog, my hot dog, says Pigeon. Ah, I have a question. Poor Pigeon. I never had a hot dog before. What do they taste like? Oh, Pigeon, what are you going to do? Well, they are a taste sensation. Each morsel is a joy, a celebration in a bun. Wow, Pigeon describes it so well. I think I want one for lunch today. He's listening, and he's even taking notes. I love duckling. If you've never experienced the splendor of a hot dog, you should really... Wait a second. I think Pigeon knows what's going on. This hot dog is mine. I found it. Of course. Enjoy. Go ahead. Would you say it tastes like chicken? Can you believe this guy? What? Oh, now he looks as sweet and as innocent as you guys sometimes do to mommy and daddy when you want something. It just tastes like a hot dog, okay? Okay. Oh, when he does this, it means Pigeon is frustrated. So it doesn't taste like chicken then? Oh, for Pete's sake. Hey, I'm a curious bird. That's it! Oh, wow. Duckling went flying. You can only see his feet and some feathers. It's my hot dog, right? Mine, mine, mine. This is unbelievable. Finders keeper is what I say. I'm a curious bird. What do they taste like? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. I cannot take it anymore. What am I supposed to do? What should he do, guys? We'll see. Look at Pigeon. I'd say he's more than frustrated. I'd say he's getting angry. Duckling says, I think I've got an idea. You know, you're pretty smart for a duckling. Neat mustard. What was Duckling's idea? Look at the picture, and I bet you can guess what the idea was. His idea was that Pigeon splits it in two, and that way they both get to taste it. And here's our last page. And can you see what's different on this page from the first page? Yes, of course, there is a half-eaten hot dog right there. Well, Mo Willems does an amazing book. This one, The Pigeon Finds a Home, was donated to me by a neighbor. And so for both my neighbors who donated my Mo Willems books, I thank you so much. Now it is officially time for math. All right, I know I just said Pigeon finds a home. I meant to say Pigeon finds a hot dog. He didn't find a home. All right, so it's math time. We are going to write the number 9. And I'm going to move my smiley face over just a little bit, because we are going to start at the smiley face and make the letter C, and then go up and down, around, up and down. Uh-oh, it looks like my pen is dying. Let me try that again. Around, up and down. Oh, we don't want it floating. It's got to go down to the ground. Around, up and down. We've been writing our 9s now for many days. So if you'll notice, I'm doing it all in one fluid motion. I'm not doing the ups and downs. I'm just going around, up and down, around, up and down, around, up and down. And after a while, you get really good at it. I do want to make sure that you guys know that you cannot make a super big ball or a super small ball, because both of these are 9s, but they're just awkward. You want your numbers and letters to be as clear to the person looking at them as possible. So around to the dotted line, up and down, around to the dotted line, up and down, around to the dotted line, up and down. Nice and smooth. Now I say we normally do 9. I think I've gone a little beyond that, so I'm just going to finish what's here. Don't go super fast unless you can go super neat. It's not about speed, guys. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my goodness, I did 10, 9 and 10 on the first line, and I still had some space. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I did 17 9s, way more than you have to. At least try to give 9 of your very best 9s, and that's it for math. Right now, most Mondays I try to do something fun and in the kitchen. I haven't always been able to do it, but today I have something really fun for you preppies. It's called moon sand. It clumps when you squeeze it, and it feels like sand, but it's actually not made of sand. So in order to do this, we're going to be working in the kitchen, and when we're working in the kitchen, we have to wash our hands. I'm going to come over to the sink, turn it on, get myself lots of soap, and let's see, I've done different things. We've sung Happy Birthday to You twice, we've done the alphabet song. I'm really partial to the alphabet song, so I think we're going to do alphabet. Guys, ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? We rinse that off. We did our alphabet twice. I know everyone's still talking about washing hands, and when you guys come back to school and you're kindergartners next year, you're going to be doing a lot of hand washing too. So get used to it. Let me dry my hands off, and we can start making our moon sand. Now, to moms and dads out there, it's made with flour and either baby oil or cooking oil. I don't have baby oil, so I'm using cooking oil today. And I know flour can be difficult. So I'm going to tell you, you can make it in batches, big or small. I'm going to turn the camera off for a second and get the recipe. Okay, so the original recipe calls for 8 cups of flour and 1 cup of oil, and then food coloring to change the color of it. I don't know if you have a lot of flour in your house. My neighbor weeks ago bought a 50-pound bag of flour, so I'm not hurting for flour. But you can, if you don't have a lot of flour at home, you can adapt this down really easily. It's an 8-to-1 ratio. So you can do all the way down to 1 cup of flour and an 1/8 cup of oil. You can do 2 cups of flour and a 1/4 cup of oil, 4 cups of flour and a 1/2 cup of oil. Whatever you have at home, it's definitely fun to make, and I know flour is an issue. So do what you can with it. All right, so coming over here, I poured a bunch of my flour into a big bowl so that my Preppy K's could dig into it. So let's do, I'm gonna count out 1, 2, 3, and Preppy K's, you see how when I fill it up, I'm running my finger across it so I know it's a full cup. 4, 5, 6, 7, and for my last cup, let's see. 8. Now, I'm using cooking oil and I need 1 cup of oil. So I'm going to squeeze my cooking oil into here until it's full and pour it in. Now let me tell you, moms, I found that a little extra oil was better than being short, so we're going to mix it up, and when we mix it up we may add some extra oil. So Super Preppies, I know it looks really squishy, but we are going to get our fingers in here, and if you don't want to get your fingers in there right away, you can use your measuring cup to do some of the stirring, but you're going to notice that it starts to clump when the oil and the flour mix together. Now this is actually whole wheat flour and white flour mixed together, so it's a little darker than regular flour. Looks like I got most of it mixed together, and now it's time for me to get my fingers going. This is why I wanted a big bowl. You really want some space to do some mixing. So Super Preppies, get your hands in there, start feeling around. It doesn't act like flour anymore because it's clumping together, and that's what you want it to do. You don't want it to be super sticky because moon sand acts like sand in that it's crumbly, but it's moon sand because it also takes the shape of what you put it in. So if you have some Play-Doh toys or cookie cutters, you can use those on your moon sand to make great shapes. So I'm liking the way it's feeling right now. I already feel like it is the way it's supposed to be. It's crumbly, but it's also holding its shape. You're going to find the older kids are going to want to play with this too, just because it's so much fun. You can add food coloring if you want. I'm going to warn you right now, it takes a lot of food coloring to make a change, and their hands are going to get food coloring on them. Good thing is that comes off with a little soap and water. So, and the more they play with it, the more the color mixes in. It really does take quite some time for you to start seeing the differences. Store this in a Ziploc baggie. It will last for weeks. And that is if the kids don't get it all over the place. This might be an activity you want them, once they've made it, you might want to have them take it outside, because, I mean, look at my counter. That's me being careful. This moon sand will get everywhere. So let me just show you some of the properties of moon sand. You can definitely pat it all down, and then you can grab a cookie cutter, and it keeps the shape of it. You can take some of it out and push it into the cookie cutter if you want, just like this. And I'm going to slowly push it out, and I will have Mickey Mouse. It holds its shape pretty well. Not well, I lost an ear. But, you know, we can put that ear right back on because it's moon sand. And it just kind of goes back to the way it was. So you can crumble it back into sand. If you want to form our letter of the week, you definitely can. Ooh, you can pat this down, and that would be great practice. Sideways, diagonal, sideways, and draw the letter of the week. You can, well, you know, kids will play with it just like Play-Doh. They'll play with it forever. This is called Moon Sand. 2 simple ingredients, flour and oil, and hours of fun and, sorry moms and dad, hours of cleanup. It's time for our last section of the day, which is our website of the day. And I want to remind you that in our backwards alphabet, today is Water Wednesday, or W for water, Water Day. So we're going to take a bucket of water, and I'm out here with my number 9 that I drew weeks ago when we were doing alphabet and number PE, and I'm just going to paint it with water. Kind of help me clean up a little. The sun is going to dry it, and before you know it, it's going to be ready for me to do it again. You can paint with water. You can make anything you want with water, and our sunshine is just going to take it away. So have a fun day with a paintbrush and a bucket of water. You can see my flower here that my dog is next to, and draw and paint with water on Water Day. If you got some water balloons hanging around, have a water balloon contest. But if you're short on ideas, my website of the day is called wateruseitwisely.com. On this website is all kinds of electronic games, video games, as well as other games for kids and parents to play with. So wateruseitwisely.com. There's also some information about water conservation for parents and older kids. But if you just want a fun day, check out this website. Happy Monday, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.